Hello and welcome to the third video in my Caribbean cruise series. This video is going to be all about Sint Maarten. I'm going to be going through everything we did at this port. This is one of the ports where you do not want to stay on the ship. You don't want to miss it. It's absolutely beautiful and there is so much to do. If you are heading on a Caribbean cruise, make sure you check out my previous videos in this series. If you're lucky enough to be visiting Sint Maarten, stay tuned because in this video I'll be going through what we did at this port and giving you ideas on excursions that you could do and what to expect when you get to the port. So let's get straight into the video. On arrival, the port is very lively. There were steel drums playing and it was a great atmosphere. There's a really big Sint Maarten sign that you can take pictures next to. There are shops, bars, taxi rank, and also somewhere that you can get a water taxi into Phillipsburg. As mentioned in my previous video, when we get to a port, we like to do a tour in the morning to see all the main sites, and then we like to have the afternoon free to explore things for ourselves. So that's exactly what we did when we got to Sint Maarten. It's important to note that in Sint Maarten, it's split into two sides. They have the French side and the Dutch side, and the cruise ships go to the Dutch side. The first stop was a location on the French side of the island. Along the drive, the tour guide showed us some of the local sites and also told us a bit about the history of Sint Maarten, how it became split into two sides, so we found it really interesting to go on this tour. He showed us some of the beautiful beaches and also he even stopped so we can see a really giant iguana. The first stop on the tour was Marigot Market. When we got there, it was raining, so there was a few of the shops that were closed, but there was a lot of souvenir stores and restaurants and things like that here. Marigot is actually the capital of the French side of Sint Maarten. It's quite nice to come here, do some shopping and support the local businesses. There were a lot of tour buses here. Even though the weather was raining before we got there, it still had a lot of tour buses, but it just wasn't too busy. So I guess if you went on a day where the weather was really sunny, it probably would be quite busy here. As you can see, all these stores were empty because of the weather. Hello, we are in the beautiful Sint Maarten. I don't know where we are. I think we're in the French part of Sint Maarten and we are in, is it the French part? I think so. Behind me is the beautiful, I think that this is the Atlantic Sea. Obviously I don't know all the facts, but it's very beautiful here. There's a lot going on. The tour stopped here for about half an hour. We had time to have a walk around and grab a drink at this lovely little restaurant. We enjoyed looking around this market. If you're heading to Sint Maarten, I'd definitely recommend cutting out some time to come and see the French side and spending some time at Marigot. Then we headed off to the next location. On the way, the tour guide showed us that this spot is where the French side and the Dutch side of Sint Maarten meet. We stopped here for just a few minutes to take photos. There was nothing else around here, no restaurants or anything. Next up is a location I'm sure you all are aware of if you're going to Sint Maarten. This stop was the world famous Maho Beach, where the planes literally feel like they're flying right on top of the beach. To get to the beach, you have to walk through this beach bar, which I think is called Sunset Beach Bar. And it's a really nice atmosphere. They do food here and drinks, so it's good to know if you're hungry whilst you're on Maho Beach. As you can imagine, it was absolutely full of people here. A tip I have for you if you are going to Maho Beach is to pay attention to the flight times. As you can see here, most of the flights were between 1:30 till 3ish on the day that we got there, and I think it's the same on most days. This is really important to note if you want to see the big airlines flying on top of the beach. There are lots of little jets and smaller island hopping planes that do fly over more frequently, but they don't have the same effects as the big airlines. When we got there on our tour, it was around 12 o'clock and it wasn't time yet to see any of the big airlines, and we only had about 30 minutes stop here, so we actually ended up ditching our tour to stay on this beach so we could see the bigger airlines. So if we had known that earlier, we probably wouldn't have booked the tour because we only could do 2 of the stops. So make sure you check the flight times so that you can plan your trip to Maho Beach at the most opportune time to see all the airlines. Maho Beach is really beautiful and it is such a unique experience to see all these planes flying so low. However, this is not a beach for relaxing. It was a chock-a-block full of people and it was just not relaxing. There's also a road directly behind the beach, and then behind that is the runway for the airport. So it's just not a place that you would lounge. You would just kind of come here to see the planes and then go and relax at some of St. Martin's other beautiful beaches. Also, don't worry at all if you're just dressed in normal clothes to come to this beach. Most people are just in normal clothes. The water is lovely, so if you do have any swimwear on you, you can get changed and have a swim if you wanted to. I had taken some swimwear with me, so I did get changed, and we got a sun lounger and we sat down, had a drink from the bar while we waited because we had a long wait because we got there so early. You do have to pay to use the sunbeds here. However, you can just sit on the sand. If you bring your own towels and stuff, you can just do your own thing as well. Whilst we were waiting for the big planes to come in, there were a lot of smaller jets, probably every 10 minutes or so. So if you didn't have time to wait, you could just see the smaller planes and leave. But we were so glad we waited. I'd definitely recommend looking at the times and making sure you're there to see some big airlines coming in. It was so exciting every time. We had lots of opportunities to get our photos and videos with the planes. Obviously, it's super noisy as you would expect, so this is another reason why this beach is not relaxing. It's also important to be aware of blowback when planes are taking off from the airport, because the runway is right behind the beach and sometimes there can be just a really big gust of wind when a big plane is taking off. The water is so nice and warm here. It's beautiful. It's definitely such a wonderful beach. It's so unique. I don't know if there's any other beaches like this in the world. Put it in the comments if you know if there's something like this anywhere else, but I haven't heard of anything, and it's a must do while you're in Sint Maarten. After Maho Beach, we got a taxi back and headed into Phillipsburg. This is the capital of the Dutch side of Sint Maarten, and here you can find many shops, restaurants and bars, and also there is a really nice beach here called the Orient Bay Beach. When we got here, we took a walk along the boardwalk, we took in the sights and did some window shopping. Sint Maarten is known for having really great shopping, especially when it comes to jewelry and watches. We saw so many diamond stores and a lot of watch brand stores as well. There's also many just normal shops if you just wanted to do some shopping. If you're enjoying this video and you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe to see more of my videos. Also, be sure to leave a thumbs up if this video helps you at all. So in Phillipsburg, there's a lot of bars and restaurants that you can get some lunch, so it's a great place to come in the afternoon. Next, we headed to Orient Bay Beach. This is located right in the center of Phillipsburg, and it is just across the way from where the cruise ships are. So if you didn't want to do much that day, you just wanted to relax by the beach, this is a great beach to spend some time at. It's definitely not the most beautiful beach in St. Maarten. It's nothing special really. Even Maho Beach is more beautiful, but it is an easy place to go to if you don't want to do much. If you'd like to visit a more beautiful beach and spend some time there, I would recommend Orient Bay. We didn't have time to visit this beach with everything that we did in St. Maarten, but we had, it was a wonderful beach to visit. After spending some time on the beach, we made our way back to the port. We decided to get back to the port by water taxi. You can actually walk back to the port from Phillipsburg. We couldn't quite figure out the route and we didn't really have enough time to walk, so we decided to get a water taxi, which was actually a very enjoyable experience. The water taxi was quite cheap. I believe it was about $5 to get on it. This was the boat that picked us up. As you can see, it's kind of medium sized. There's probably about 20 to 30 people on the boat, and I would definitely recommend doing this boat trip. It was very beautiful going across the water. It was a great view from Phillipsburg from the boat, and yeah, it was just very relaxing. I really enjoyed this little boat trip. From here you can see a better view of Orient Bay Beach. As you can see, it spans across quite a bit of the water. It was only about a 10-minute journey, and then it was time to disembark when we arrived back to the port. We then spent some time and just had a little wander around the port before heading back to the cruise ship. If you have the time, you can do some shopping or have some drinks in one of the bars. Make sure though that you arrive back to the ship with plenty of time to spare, and remember that you'll have to show your cruise pass before you get back on the ship. I hope you found this video helpful if you're going to St. Maarten, and if you've already been, make sure you let everybody know in the comments if you found anything else that's great to do there. Come back again next time for the next video in the cruise series, which is all about the British Virgin Islands. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.